Hello, everybody. This is BCT Webster, and I'm going to be doing a set of video series that's going to be reviewing two of my favorite manga, which are Black Clover and Demon Slayer. I hope you guys tune in weekly to see my reviews of the most current chapters. And here we go. So, today I will be talking about chapter 233 of Black Clover. Fair warning, this video will contain spoilers, so if you haven't read the chapter, I strongly urge you to do so. If you have already done so, or just don't really care about spoilers, let's get started. So, this chapter picked up right where the last chapter left off. Charmy was in Paul Froom Forest. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. Eating everything she could. And we see Asta try to get her to stop, but in this chapter we see she doesn't really take too kindly to his suggestion. She summons the big sheep and she begins to attack. Now, I really want to focus for a moment on this particular moment. So, to me, it's very interesting because her reaction seems a little off. In my perspective, Charmy always seemed to be one of the more calm and tame of the Black Bulls, unless you directly mess with her food. And I'm putting an emphasis on directly because all the times when she gets really angry, it's because somebody directly messed with her food. The two examples that come to mind is the one where the base gets attacked and her vegetable garden gets destroyed, and that's when she gets really angry and it's ready to attack at whoever's responsible. And the second instance is when she's fighting Real and she offers him food and he smacks it away and she immediately just loses it. Now, Asta didn't do any of that. He basically just suggested it, like, hey, take it easy, like you shouldn't be eating too much. And she went from 0 to 100 real quick. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's something we need to keep an eye out. And the reason being, and this is just me and my theorist brain going wild, is that I feel that ever since that fight with Rails, where she completely unlocks her full potential, well, not her full potential, but she unlocks her second magical attribute, which is food magic, and it, was presented very, very incredible with the whole wolf thing. I feel that maybe that changed her. Because we see once the food magic takes control of her, like her demeanor is different. Before she was always hungry, she always wanted to eat, but there it was like she was completely consumed by hunger. And she was a lot more aggressive about it at that point, almost evil, I would like to say. So maybe something changed in her now. Now, even though she's not really possessed by her food magic, that already changed in her. And so now she's even more hungry than she was before, and she reacts more aggressively with her hunger. Again, it's a little too early to call. I think we need to see more of her and see how she reacts in other situations with other people to really be able to say that, okay, yeah, that's something that changed with her. Yeah, so again, she goes in the offensive, and then Sir Potrov tries to stop her, who we find out is the one who actually trained her in Captain Grill during the 6-month time skip. And he fails miserably. He really does. His attacks don't even slow her down. Then in comes Real and he saves Asta, and they both take down the giant sheep. Real with his paint magic and Asta with his anti-magic sword, the Demon Dweller sword, and he just like whoosh, straight cuts through it. And after that, Charmy seems to calm down. Granted, she seems to be restrained by Potrout's vines, but here we see a few interesting moments. So, first of all, and I forgot to mention this earlier, when Charmy's eating and she's being, really obnoxious, she's sitting in the middle of a circle with a lot of strange symbols. And her and the animals that are with her and all her food, everything's contained within that circle. Outside of it, there's really nothing. So that got me thinking, like, what is the point of the circle? And it has all these weird symbols in it. Like, it almost seems like the symbols that came out whenever forbidden magic was being used. And Bortrov, he talks about how he's to blame for his Charmy's rampage, how he feels responsible. So I'm wondering, like, is the circle augmenting her powers or restricting them? And if it's doing either of those, like, did Bortrov have anything to do with him? Like, that's maybe why he feels responsible. Like, there has to be a reason why he feels responsible for Charmy's behavior, and I just refuse to think like he just feels responsible because Charmy's his student. That feels kind of cheap. Otherwise, like, there wouldn't be really any point to like put it in there. So I don't know. Maybe the training made her more aggressive, and he feels responsible for it, or made her powers go a little out of control. Who knows? So the other thing that I saw, and this is more funny than serious, is the fact that Real seems to have a bit of a crush on Charmy ever since they fought when he was possessed by an elf. And it's a really funny interaction because he portrays her like, oh, she's a hot a goddess, and he makes the painting of her, but she's in the form she was when she was under the food magic, all tall and thin and beautiful. And right now she's really short and chubby, and you have that whole interaction with us. It's like, oh, this Charmy, like, not believing it, and Charmy makes like that little comment like, hey, there's nothing wrong with with being little chubby, being thick as in, and that line right there, what was the the that line, like, being a little thick is in the style now. That right there, I really hope, because right now I'm reading an early translation. I really hope that is in the official one, because Charming saying the word thick and saying how it's in style is just pure gold. I really want that to be, canon. So of course, Charmy's still head over heels for so maybe we'll get a bit of a love triangle. But knowing he'll probably won't care about it, which will actually be hilarious and will make this so much better. Because the triangle will be more like of a line, like Charmy loves and Frills loves Charmy, but it doesn't get reciprocated the other way around. I think it'll be a little fun, you know, character dynamic if they actually go through with that. So after that, the whole chapter moves on to focus on and we see on his way to Hage Village, and we get a little flashback of him getting his magic stone back, the one that he always carried. And from the looks of the flashback, it kind of looks like it was Captain Vengeance who gives it to him, but he didn't seem to have his golden dawn uniform on, which has me wondering if he's still the captain. We never get a clear answer to what his penalty was for betraying the Clover Kingdom. All we really get is the Wizard King saying that he has to stand and push forward with him, whatever that means. And then there's being vice captain now, which puts Langris's position in the Golden Dawn in question. And it's interesting because, again, like, everybody, like, there was a lot of Magic Knights who were possessed, and they all fought against and everything. Like, there was a lot of distrust, and that's why the whole judgment thing happened, so they could pin it all on Asta, and so everything will go back to normal for the Magic Knights. They pin, oh, it was the devil, and the devil was Asta, and yada yada yada. So the interesting thing about that, though, when it comes to Langris and Cante Vengeance, is that with Langris, his behavior was erratic before he got fully possessed. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, he was influenced by the forbidden magic. Yes, 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 he was. But his actions when he tried to kill his brother Finral happened before he was possessed, and he was already in trouble for that. So we got to see if there's some kind of punishment for his actions during that. And also, William Vengeance, he knew about the whole plans that Patry had for everybody, and how he wanted to take over the Clover Kingdom, and it was his body. He basically gave Patry, full reign on his body when he killed the Wizard King. So again, that has to be addressed somehow, and I really hope they do it soon. Otherwise, it kind of loses its meaning, unless he makes it in a way where it has meaning later down the road. Anyway, so again, he's back to the story. Going back to Hage, and we get the usual back and forth between him and Sil flirting, and him like blowing her off. So once he gets there, Sister takes him inside to meet the man that we saw a couple chapters earlier, just hanging there in front. And this man drops the truth bomb that I was not expecting, but I'm not at all surprised by. Is the prince of the Spade Kingdom. Wow, that is a lot to dissect for me. So I'm gonna focus on a few things that I want to talk about. All right. So first of all, the man recognized Yuno because of two things. First, apparently he's the spitting image of his dad, CL Gimbelier. I think that's how you pronounce it, Sierra Bengelier. And the second one is the magic stone that he has. So apparently, this it seems like this magic stone has some significance or connection to that royal family. Now, to me, this is pretty interesting because throughout the whole story, in at least two instances that I remember, is magic stones seem to be in the possession of very powerful mages. You have Captain Fuego Leon has one, which is why he gets his arm cut off, and the second one is the Witch Queen from the Witch's Forest has another one, which was a whole Witch's Forest little story arc that happened. And it's weird because it seems like the magic stones still have more use. So at first, we kind of thought like the magic stones were just for the resurrection ritual, whatever. But after the ritual, they were supposed to be useless. But then they got used again to resurrect the Wizard King. So I feel that the author still hasn't given us the full use of the magic stones, and I feel and I hope actually I hope that they have more of a use down the line and down the story. And again, I also want to know how is it that the stones got to those places, the Spade Kingdom, the Witch's Forest, because it seems that they were created you know, when the demon was trying to make the Grimmer that's Astos, and that was exclusively something that happened in the Clover Kingdom. I just really want to know, and I hope that the magic stones play a bigger role, and it doesn't just become about YUNO'S stones in particular and how that's a symbol for his royal status. I think that would be a really disservice to what could be something potentially great. Moving on. So yeah, the other thing that happens is it's revealed that the Dark Triad, who were introduced in the last chapters, are the ones who took over the kingdom, which was pretty obvious. What's interesting is that the man said that they exiled the Grimbellier family. So I'm wondering, are they still alive? He didn't say they got killed. He just said they were exiled. And if they're alive, are Yuno's parents still alive? Like his actual parents? Or is it just some other parts of his family? What kind of people are they? Where are they? Where are they hiding if they're still alive? And and then he goes on to say, all of you are a last hope. So it seems like he's aware that the rest of the Heart Kingdom and the Clover Kingdom's efforts to take down the demons in the Spade Kingdom. And again, this ties up to being royalty. I'm wondering here, the way he says that, and this is just me in my theorist head going way off into the future. I'm wondering if Yuno's family left them in Hage on purpose. Because, and I'm not saying like they saw this whole thing coming, the Clover Kingdom and the Hog Kingdom coming together, but maybe they sent to Hage because that would be the last place anybody would care to look for him to, grow up, harness his magic, and then when he becomes powerful enough, someday come back to the Spade Kingdom and take it back for the family, take it back from the demons. That would be something, very cool about it. Like if that's actually what they were planning, Another thing that Yuno's reveal kind of opened up a little bit of a can of worms is that we finally get a backstory on Yuno, where he came from. So now the question is, where did Asta come from? Because they were both left at the door when they were a kid, and throughout the whole story we see a lot of not so much parallels, but how a recurring pattern where Yuno and Asta are complete opposites. Even it boils down to the physical aspect of them. Yuno's tall, Asta's short. Has black hair, Asta has short hair. Then you have Yuno, who's a prodigy with magic, and then Asta has no magic at all. So I think that pattern is going to continue as the story progresses. And one of the things that I'm seeing that it's kind of bugging me is that when the elves get resurrected, Yuno was Yuno's body was taken control by Lich's son, unborn child, and that's who he became. Now Asta, that didn't happen with Asta, so maybe that's the parallel right there. The opposite, Yuno is supposed like in spirit the descendant of the elves, whereas Asta is has demon inside him somehow. Because one thing that I'm wondering is, so Yuno's royalty. I don't want it to be that oh Yuno and Asta are related by blood or by title or by status. I kind of wanted to follow that whole opposite pattern. And one thing that I was thinking a possibility is that maybe Asta is a hybrid like Charmy, but he could be a demon human hybrid, or maybe in a dwarf demon or devil hybrid. That explains why he's so short. But I kind of want him to have some connection to the devils, besides the fact that his grimoire has a devil inside like that. Because I feel there has to be a reason why he was born with no magic, and why he's able to control anti magic so efficiently. There has to be an underlying reason. So yeah, like this, this was a very, very intense chapter. It was also a bit insane, and it really is setting up for some big reveals down the line. I don't really think we're gonna get too much. I really hope we don't get like three chapters of flashbacks to the Spade Kingdom. I hope they sprinkle those details as the story goes along, because I really want to see more about the Dark Triad, what they're doing right now. But yeah. So, anyways, this is most of what I had to say today about this chapter. It was a good one. So, what do you guys think about this chapter? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you agree or disagree with any of my comments and thoughts? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you like this review, would like to see more of them, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you know when I'm posting these videos. I will also be tackling Demon Slayer for those who are fans. That'll be coming on later on this week. Once again, thanks again for watching, and see you all next time.